Hi everyone, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I want to talk about medical weight loss. And yes, you guys know I've talked about Ozempic, Wegovy, all of that before. Um, and I'm going to talk about that today, but I want to talk about this from a different angle. I want to talk about this in terms of people who might need medical weight loss, who would actually benefit from an Ozempic or a Wegovy, and what I think, as a health and fitness professional, as a mindset coach, as a food mindset coach, what I think would be helpful if someone were to engage in medical weight loss. Now, I want to talk about medical weight loss in two separate sections. There's the medical weight loss where you go to like a Kaiser or a Sutter and they put you on like 900 calories. You can't drink alcohol. You have weekly meetings. You lose all the weight. And then they tell you to eat 1,600 calories for the rest of your life and you move on. That works for some people. That works really well for the people who have already gotten some kind of some kind of therapy or psychological help or counseling around why they gained weight in the first place. That works really well for them. Am I condoning eating 900 calories a day? No, I think that's really, really low for a lot of people, but it does work for them because they're monitored weekly with a group session. It's covered by insurance. And it works because the weight loss is super fast, right? So they're eating 900 calories a day, weight loss is super fast. And then they're told, hey, just eat 1,600 calories for the rest of your life and exercise and you'll be fine. To a degree, that's fine. I think for most people, for healthy people mentally, getting the weight off is actually the biggest hurdle. And then they can kind of like deal with everything else. So that's the first kind of medical weight loss. Not a lot of people are doing that, to be honest. Most people are going straight to the second kind of medical weight loss, which is the Ozempic and the Wegovy and all of that. So I'm going to share with you guys who I think is a good candidate for that and what I think the process should be for that. By the way, your insurance will pay for my coaching. And so if you have a job that covers medical health expenses as part of like their preventative maintenance, you can pay me and I've reimbursed people before for that. But anyway, so my thoughts for people who actually need Wegovy, Ozempic, and all that, these are people who are like well into like the 300, 400 pound, category, extremely obese and have not dealt with the emotional and psychological piece around their weight and food. And here's why. I think sometimes for those people, the mental hurdle is too much. And so once the weight doesn't come off in a month, they quit and they give up. And so they need something super fast immediately just to kind of get them out of their head and to get them out of, because they haven't built up the resilience to say, oh my gosh, this is going to take a year. They haven't built up the resilience for that. And so to ask them um, to stick to a nutrition program and to not binge eat and to not eat garbage is kind of crazy. Like they're not going to be able to do it purely due to the fact that their weight is too much of a hurdle at this moment. They're too emotionally attached to the scale. Every time it doesn't move, they get frustrated and they just give up and they go eat. They just lack the self-control. And so sometimes giving a shot, an Ozempic or whatever, is helpful because it gets the weight down just enough to where then they can kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel. It takes a very special kind of person to be able to push through when they don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. It takes you have to be built different. And to be honest, most people are not built like that. They are not built in the way where if they don't see, the scale go down every week, they'll keep going. Most people, I'm sorry, if someone is that big in the first place, they generally lack confidence. They generally lack resilience. They generally lack, just like the cheerleading piece in their brain that says, you can do it, keep going. So they're very, very much like children in that they need immediate reward systems. And this is not like, I don't know, I probably sound like really mean right now, but it's true. Like, and I'm saying this having worked with a lot of people who are in that state. And so that their minds are very much like children. And so they need quick, easy, like immediate rewards. They need that dopamine hit in order to progress. And so for those people, it might be something worth looking into. Now, here's the caveat, and I've said this for years and years and years on my channel. It's really, really important that those people who are getting injections, number one, are on a very low dose. The side effects are crazy. By the way, Ozempic is causing blindness now. Like people, they're finding out the GLP-1s are actually increasing blindness in people. So there's many, many side effects. Gastroparesis, their stomachs are paralyzed. They're having, issues with going to the bathroom. There's all kinds of side effects, but so they should always request to be on the lowest dose, but also they should be in an intense form of, I think, cognitive behavioral therapy, where they're being taught how to respond to life in an appropriate and healthy and mature way, so that with the mindset of, I'm not going to do this forever. I'm not going to be on these drugs forever. So I better get this right. I better get my mind right. The problem is that a lot of people who are on Wegovy and Ozempic and all that, when they come off, they have extreme anxiety because they are dependent on the drug in some weird way. So I think it needs to be a process where people are getting support for how to deal with life, the life that got them this big in the first place, right? Like people don't just gain weight out of nowhere. It's because they haven't learned how to manage their stress. They don't value themselves, so they value their job over their work, and so they instead of taking care of their health, they feed themselves garbage and work all night. Like they're incapable of separating that. Like there's reasons why people gain this much weight, right? They're covering up some deep trauma that they've had. There's reasons for this, and I'm not even condemning those reasons. I'm saying there are reasons for this. And so if they do the medical weight loss, they should be getting some deep help for relationships and how to manage their life in a way that will allow them to continue the weight loss. Because the reason why I'm against an Ozempic or a Wegovy is not because I don't think it works. Of course it works. I just don't know, the long-term benefits don't seem to outweigh the short-term rewards. So if you have to be on it for the rest of your life, we don't have enough data for how long someone is going to be on it. Let's say these women are starting it in their 30s. Okay, we don't have enough data on like what happens when you're 65 and you've been on it. If we're already seeing negative effects from it now, what happens when you're 65? So needing some, if you're going to be on medical weight loss, needing that piece, that element of therapy, maybe even looking into getting into something more intense where, you have to go back into those situations and really work through that. Not just talk therapy. I have to say that's like, I don't think that that's beneficial. I think it's more beneficial to come up with strategies with a coach or with a therapist on how to deal with stress, and someone who can help you deal with, why is it that it is more important that you work than you take care of your body? Why is it more important that you continue this cycle than take care of your body? Because those are the tough questions that you have to ask yourself when it's time for you to do this for the rest of your life. So it's not that medical weight loss is like all horrible all the time. I'm really working on not being an all or nothing person. But it is that, okay, if we're going to do this medical weight loss thing, we need to be, if you're someone who's going to do it, and I have clients who are on it, I have to be honest with you guys, but we are constantly talking about strategies. We're constantly talking about what is a healthy meal. We're not going to be the people on Mounjaro and Wegovy and Ozempic who are eating Oreos and protein shakes. We're not going to be those people. We simply cannot. So we are going to be the people who are eating healthy meals on this program, because at the end of the day, you still need to be healthy. Just because you lose the weight doesn't make you healthy. You still need to be getting vitamins and minerals in. You still need to be hitting your protein. You still need to live your life. You still have to have a prolonged life. And while losing weight will do that, It's not the only thing. So I hope this video helped you guys. If you're thinking about medical weight loss, I hope that you take this into consideration before you start and ask about getting some psychological and emotional help for the underlying problem, not just the result of this. All right, you guys, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.